He actually left the call. Hmm. Oh, Flo, are you back? I'm gonna mute again. Okay. Buenas tardes, amigos y amigas. We've arrived at the circuit at the circuit de Barcelona, Catalunya, in the east of Spain on the Mediterranean coast for the Spanish Grand Prix here in GP2 2018. I am your commentator Robert Ionescu, and today, just like yesterday, I'm joined by former double OC champion and current Ferrari driver Joseph Willows. So, hey Joe, how are you doing?
Good to be here yet again. Hello, everyone, and hopefully we'll be in for a good race.
Yeah, I hope so too. This should be a pretty fun one. In qualifying, it was very close. The top four all within a tenth of a second, and I'm hoping we get as good of a race as we had a qualifying session. But anyway, Daniel Adventure, championship leader, took pole position and increased his lead up to 6 points from Max Gillen. But let's look at the grid itself, shall we?
Let's do it.
And of course, next week we'll be racing at the track you guys have voted for. I don't know just yet. Flo's gonna tell me and Joe in private, but you'll get to know at the end of the race. Anyway, Daniel Adventure is on pole position, followed joined on the front row by Kyle Burns in his best GP2 qualifying. Aaron Kerr is in third place, once again qualifying on the front two rows. And is joined by Huang Min Nguyen, who just like Burns qualifies in the top four for a second time in 3 races. The next four are...
How am I doing it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Joe.
Try and be a bit clearer. Dennis Graff in 5th, with Bence Valdinger in 6th, Thomas Bennett 7th, and Max Gillen in 8th position.
Yep, afterwards we got Nicholas Zorbach in 9th place, the man of the Campos, joined on the 5th row of the grid by Chris Chatfield. Behind them we have Balan Zolga, who retired in Baku with a puncture, and Jared Fosbury in 12th.
David Cupot will start in 13th, with Chuck McCarthy in 14th for Charouz, Isaac Vacheray in 15th, with Thomas Anderson in 16th for ART.
That's right, Henry Watson is next in P17, 15 places down his teammate. He'll be hoping to change that. Andrea Federi is in 18th in the Charoz. Speaking of the Czech team, the Czech driver, Christoph Beranek, is in 19th, joined up penultimate row of the grid by Jake Galloway.
And on the last row of the grid, we have Alessandro Tomaselli for Carlin and Davy Suarez for Dams.
Yep, that's the grid. 40 laps of action in front of the drivers. All that remains is to look at the weather. It's gonna start off dry. We have a small chance of rain, maybe like 10% chance of rain early on, but light rain at the very best. So there is a small shot that we could have some rain in this race. I think there might be a little bit of moisture on track at the start. I'm not quite sure. We're gonna get ready with this race anyway.
Very weird weather that we have for GP2. I'm not sure why Flo always has rain for his series, but that's that.
Yeah, the DTN race last time, 2 days ago, was pretty intense too. All the wet weather shenanigans. And we're gonna get going. There is water on track, but I think everyone is gonna be on the right tires. Look at Daniel Adventure. 90 laps in his wagon.
As we'll hope to get underway quite soon as the 5 lights are now coming on.
And when they go out, the drivers will be racing. Which is now. They're racing. And the Spanish Grand Prix go. Looks like a good start for Bert. He might be able to get a jump on Adventure. And they get towards third one. But watch behind. Curtis trying to make a move. Burns making a move there. He's trying to take the lead on Adventure. Oh, no, there's a big crash. Zorbach, I can see Zorbach and Zolga. I think Chatfield as well.
Third race in a row for Chatfield.
Yes. 3 cars out in a single at the first corner. And once again, Nicholas Zorbach taking out the lead of the race. Adventure leads as the Grid moves up into third. A big fight here for position. Cupok's big overtaken by Bernard. Cupok has damage.
So much carnage on the first lap. As I said before, it's 3 out of 3 retirements for Chris Chatfield. Not a good start for the championship for him, that's for sure.
And neither is it for Banzol. Both him and Zorbach. Now, Zolga is also on his 3rd retirement. And Zorbach is maybe just his 2nd retirement. He still doesn't have any points. And Cupok seems to be the one who caused that crash. He ran to the back of Zolga there.
Yes, it was.
Very lucky not to collect Skillen. Skillen didn't take any damage. Got hit, but didn't actually suffer from damage, unlike his teammate. What about Chatfield? Was he?
He was collected there by Zolga. He was collected there by Zolga, who was obviously pushed out by Cupok, and Zolbach's going to be the unfortunate passenger in all this because he got gobbled up, as you can see, right on the edge of the track.
Nothing he could do on there. Chaos happening all behind him, and innocent party in this one, Nicholas Zorbach. It's unfortunate for him.
Didn't mention as well, there is spray on the track as well. We did see there was rain on the screen. We weren't quite sure if it was wet, but it is wet on the track. Whether it will dry up, we'll have to wait and see, as Adventure's got a bit of a gap now between himself and Kyle Burns.
Yeah, look at Juan Nguyen too now. Was trying to chase down Burns, but Bennett is trying to put the pressure on the Vietnamese man. Can he get him into Kaisha? Going for the inside.
He does. Up into 3rd place goes the Welshman.
Yeah, good move there. Oh, that's a big crash. McCarthy's out. And
that's one of the MPs. It's Galloway. So already we've had 5 retirements on the first lap.
Absolutely chaotic scenes here in Catalonia. Yuri said it during the test race for the top class that there's always a crash on lap 1 in La Caixa, and it's happened again.
Absolute chaos. So yellow flags at 2 parts of the track. We might see some yellow flag overtakes. So prepare yourself for some 5-second time penalties if that is the case. And we've got another one at the chicane. Actually, we've got another yellow flag at the chicane.
Who's happened? Something happened to someone this time. Must be another incident.
There was an accident down at the chicane. We'll have to wait and see. So 3 yellow flag zones on the first lap, and as you can see, Galloway punted Fashere there into the back of McCarthy there. So.
Did Fashere get any damage out of this? Yeah, looks like he did.
Bonek's also got
Galloway then got hit by Beranek.
Bonek got
unlucky for Christoph Beranek, he had a good start.
So a lot of pit activity will be needed on the first lap of the race. I'll be interested to see what that other yellow flag is about, because there is another one at the chicane. Let's see.
Wait a minute, I think Adventure just lost the lead. Or maybe I'm wrong. No, I don't think no, it was Bennett, not Adventure, but look at Dread Fosbury now.
There it is.
Oh my gosh, he's going from bad to worse from Beranek. He gets hit by San Tomaselli at the chicane.
Oh, that was a bit clumsy there.
Hit him again.
Beranek is out.
Yeah, and he's gotten collected by not his teammate, but the man who drives from the team over in country, Andrea Federi.
Chaotic start. Let's see if we're going to get any yellow flag overtakes on this lap. Of course, there'll be 3 areas where there probably will be, but at the moment it seems that everybody's keeping single file at this point in time, so we might not see any overtaking for a while until all these yellows are gone. As It's disaster
I don't
for this.
think we've ever had 3 yellow flags at the same time as the Carlin guys are stacking. So Thomas' day getting even worse. He got hit in Azerbaijan and now it's happening again. Except this time he was the one causing contact. Now we're looking at Bennett putting pressure on Burns.
One yellow flag is gone, the first corner one, so we should be able to see some overtakes down at the first corner now. As everybody seems to be finishing off their pit stop. Only 16 cars left in this race, so we're only on lap 2.
Yeah, it's going to be chaotic for sure.
Coming out of turn 8, and Bennett will be hoping not to overtake here. If he does, it'll be a 5-second penalty, but good for him. He doesn't overtake at this corner, so he's probably waiting for the straight as Watzel goes defensive there of Anderson. But as the yellows have now gone at the chicane, so that's another yellow area gone. Let's see when the other one will clear off, and we should hopefully get some full racing. Hopefully pretty soon. As now we look at Bennett, who'll be looking to attack Burns into the first corner.
Burns definitely not doing so well with pace. Look at the gap of Ventures pull on the American. And now Thomas Bennett will be trying to make amends and pass him. Adventure says the fastest lap, 145.4. As Bennett is now making his way past Kyle Burns. The Ireland shouldn't put too much of a resistance. He's not moving so much. And here goes the Welshman up in the second place.
I mean, that's a good move from Bennett. Now let's see if he can chase after Daniel Adventurers. Now the Guin wants a piece of Burns if he can, probably down at turn 4 if he's lucky.
Yeah, last time an American fought a Vietnamese man, I didn't go well for the American. Now here goes Nguyen into turn 4. And once again the American loses out. Burns is off. Can he join safely there? Yes, just barely. He's clearly feeling the pressure and went off. Luckily, he didn't collect anyone. That was a clumsy mistake. Disaster for Carl Burns there. Obviously, there was no contact between the Nguyen and Burns. It was a very clumsy error there from Burns. And the Nguyen, in fact, was very lucky not to go off himself. But he I think he put a wheel on the grass, and he might be under attack from Curtis behind.
Curtis is on the back of him now, so we are expecting.
Yeah, he did put a wheel on the grass. Just about barely. Very lucky not to go out. It was a very ambitious move. And unfortunately for Burns, Nguyen made it work. And manages to keep 3rd place. At least for now. Now look at Dennis Graf putting pressure on Curtis. 2 of the rookies in this championship. Fighting for P4.
They make their way down the straight now then, and
this is the old flag zone.
Of course, they can't overtake down here, otherwise they will get a 5-second time penalty. There doesn't seem to be any overtakes at this point in time, so everyone keeping it single file at the moment. So they're all respecting the yellow flags. But now we're going to see a massive train going down the pit straight. Yeah,
Graf is in a prema sandwich at the moment. Can you overtake Curtis, or will Valinger get the jump on him instead on track? As Adventure has a 3.8-second lead over Thomas Bennett. It's an amazing gap.
While there is a dry line starting to emerge now, so the track is starting to get dry. And
the laps will get faster and faster.
As doesn't seem to be any overtakes so far going down into the first corner. Everybody's saying silver. Well, I say that because Anderson is now on the back of Watson. He's going to get
Watson defends the inside.
Doesn't get the move done.
But he'll have a chance to turn 4 just like Nguyen. And let's see if he can pull it off the Swede. Gets a good run out of 3. Will he send it?
Going to the inside, and Watson covers it off quite nicely there, so Anderson isn't able to gain a place at this point in time.
Meanwhile, Bennett gained 3/10 over an adventure. So Pulsar's chances of winning this race, maybe they're not looking so secure, but he's still in the lead, of course. Thomas Bennett will be giving him a fight, but now we're looking at Anderson, the other Thomas, continuing to fight with Henry Watson.
Out of the chicane we go as they make their way towards turn 8, which would be medium speed, but with these wet conditions it'd probably be a little bit slower, as the yellow flag is still out down at turn 9 at the moment.
Watson going defensive, Anderson not taking the bait, not trying to go on the attack. Galloway's car still being wheeled away as Goff is all over the back of Aaron Curtis, pulled away from Wallinger a little bit.
Car not close enough to the barrier yet, so maybe next lap we should see the yellow flags disappear. Maybe 1 or 2 laps.
Yeah, hopefully.
We'll wait and see.
Yeah.
In time, we've got this battle as we're riding from the rear of Curtis.
That's the lap for Adventure. 142.9. Lap time's definitely improving quite a lot.
Not close enough to get. onto Curtis that time by, so no changes at the moment in the top 10.
Just a little too far back.
I say that.
The flag is still there. Now here goes Anderson.
There you go. That's P9 for the Swede.
Yeah, Watson went wide, and Anderson completes a well-executed move, but Watson's still here.
As now we look at this battle for 4th place, Graf all over the back now of Curtis. And now the yellows have gone, so we've now got green flag racing all across the track.
Yeah, just as you predicted, Joe. Good call there. As Aaron Curtis is still defending. Fast Race as the fastest lap.
Made our way down towards turns 6 and 7. Let's see if Graf can actually pull off a move down into turn 9 now that we have green flag racing down there. And he's getting a much better exit than Curtis. He could have a go if he's close enough. He's in the slipstream. Curtis
is a good spot for overtaking, but you have to be confident on the brakes. And here it goes.
Oh, he could do it. I think he's going to pull it off. Side by side, going through these corners, and Curtis just able to hold on for the time being.
Good defense from the Irishman. Holds on at P4. But it's bringing quite a bit of a strain. Kyle Burns looking forward to getting back in this fight. After making that mistake earlier, Wallinger trying to make a move as well.
Through the chicane, it's also dragging the 2 ARTs as well, along, of course,
Take a look at this. Bennett's reduced the lead to 2.6 seconds, and as courtesy of that, says the fastest lap of the race. Now here goes Graf, another chance on Curtis. He's closer than he was last lap, but I still don't think he's close enough. Heading in towards turn 1.
He's not close enough that time by. No overtakes again down that straight. Everyone was basically slipstreaming each other at that point to stay in front. But let's see if Graf can try and get him into turn 4. He's got a much better exit than what Curtis has. Let's see if he can do it this time by.
Curtis is defending the inside. Graf is not taking the bait though, stays on the outside. Burns is catching back up to best. Wallinger goes a little deep. Wallinger, that's not going to hurt his chance of defending the place. Now Fosbury trying to attack Burns. Can he send it into turn 5, the Sam Bird corner? Now he's staying back.
Curtis now with a bit of a gap now between himself and Graf. Gap at the front, 2.5 seconds between Adventure and Bennett. So coming down
as
quite
we've got the Tuard Grand Prix cars battling the two Ardens of Kyle Burns and Harry Watson. Watson's a little bit down. Anyway, Anderson gonna try to make a move on Burns, and Fosbury's gonna try to make a move on his teammate.
Close enough that time by. Fosbury thought about a dive down into turn 9, but it wasn't quite enough, and now it's put him into the clutches of his own teammate, Thomas Anderson.
Yeah, and Watson's joining the fight as well. The Ard Grand Prix is in an Arden sandwich, sorry. And speaking of Prema, here's Aaron Curtis still defending. Adventure fastest lap.
Might be starting to respond a bit now to Bennett, as Graf not close enough again that time by. So it seems that Curtis is definitely better coming out of that part of the track. Is Anderson close enough to try and make a move on Fosbury in the background? Let's see. He's going for the move.
Can he pull it off? The fight between the teammates here. Towards turn 1.
As Fosbury goes wide, I think Anderson has got the move done, and yes, he has. Anderson up into 8th position. Now
Watson's going to have a chance. Towards turn 4, but Fosbury can try to come back at his teammate as Burns has pulled away from both of them.
We're out of turn 4 we go, and yeah, as a result of those lot battling, it has allowed Burns to just get away from them slightly. Fosbury still attacking Anderson at this point in time, so he's clearly not giving up on his own teammate. We'll have to wait and see if Anderson is able to stretch away at this part of the track.
This is great news for the people in the Arden camp, because it's allowing Burns to pull away. Watson will get closer to this battle, as Bennett has once again reduced the lead to Adventure, so they're ping-ponging, I guess, in the battle for the lead. Scrap. Yeah, there was a little bit of a lock-up, but Curtis doesn't lose position.
You mentioned that Bennett was still closing onto Adventure. In fact, Adventure has actually pulled the gap by 0.4 of a second. It was up to 2.9 seconds.
Yeah, I know, but earlier in this lap, I think it was 3 seconds. Adventure, the fastest lap now. Now Bennett beats him by over half a second. Yeah.
At the moment,
Bennett
they're trading
definitely the faster driver at the moment.
Trading fastest.
The track is drying up. Yeah. I wonder, can any of these guys challenge them? I don't think Curtis can, because he's having to hold up faster cars behind him. And then it's Graf, once again, not close enough to pull off a move.
Between the top two now, Bennett's brought it back down now to 2.7 seconds at this point in time. So he's starting to reel that gap again between himself and Adventure.
Yeah, I guess this race for now is a tug of war between those two. And who's going to come out on top? We don't know just yet, of course.
As they make their way out of turn 4, looks like Graf was a little bit later on the brakes there compared to Curtis, and now finds himself right on the gearbox of the Irishman. So let's hope if he can try and get him this time by, because he has been stuck behind him for quite a while. This is not doing the German any favours so far, as Curtis goes very defensive into turn 6. We haven't seen that so far from the Irishman.
Yeah, Aaron Curtis he's only been in GP2 for this is his third race, just like Graf, but he's pulled off some great defense against Chris Chaplin in Bahrain. Which ended when Chatfield took him out, basically. 2.4 between the leaders. Curtis defends the inside, and Graf has to stay behind.
Through these next section of corners we go. Look like Curtis went a tiny bit wide there going through the corner, and it's allowed Graf to just get a little bit closer. I think this is the closest that Graf has been to Curtis throughout this section, but we'll have to wait and see if Curtis is able to get that traction out of the chicane again like we've seen on previous laps. Let's see as they come out of that chicane. And looks like Curtis might have a bit of a gap to him. Let's see. I think he's just got enough of a gap to stay in front of Graf yet again.
Graf is going to get the slipstream. He's not going to put him close enough to attack, but still, Curtis is feeling a little bit of the pressure, making slight moves there. Doesn't seem like a threat just yet.
Not yet, but Graf clearly probably feeling a little bit frustrated in the cockpit so far that he's not able to get the Irishman at this stage of the race.
Either way, if it stays like this, then it's Graf will take his first points in GP2, which will be a great result for him. Especially big points with P5. I'm sure he wants to make it P4 and pass his fellow rookie Aaron Curtis. Can't do it into turn 5 though, no chance here.
Let's not jinx him yet, Rob.
I know, I don't want to jinx him or anything. I'm generally hoping all of these guys do well. Of course.
Same here. I think it must be said, whilst there's not really much going on, I don't think Graf is close enough this time by. Franco Gamba has been saying that he's been quite impressed with Daniel Adventure so far this season. So already his eyes on Daniel was possibly
Curtis went a little wide.
Just a tiny bit, but Graf's still not able to capitalise. I should point out as well that Anderson has now actually caught up to this train, so it's now become a 5-way scrap for 4th.
Yeah, it could make it even 6-way if Fosbeck gets any closer in the near future. Bennett with another fastest lap, reeling Daniel Adventure in.
Coming out of that chicane again, Curtis very good on traction coming out of that chicane, and so
Curtis is actually fueled pretty heavily, as are most of the other guys. But I think Adventure
Anderson has got some slipstream on Burns.
Yeah, can he get past them?
See the
turn 1
side, and it's still side by side, but he has got him. That's another place for Thomas Anderson.
Yeah, Anderson pulling a great drive so far. Looks like he'll get points once again if it stays like this, but Burns trying to get him back at him. Towards turn 4 he goes.
Not able to get the move done. Meanwhile, behind them, the other ART and Arden fight as they're starting to reel him in. What so surprisingly is not past Fosbury yet, so he's getting held up quite a bit. If they're not careful, the dams behind them is going to close. I'm not quite sure which dam.
Suarez.
As Graf going for a move there, and nearly
very ambitious, but this has helped Wallinger get so much closer. Let's take another look there. What happened to Curtis?
Looks like he made a lock-up going through into there because it looked like he was a bit squirrely on the entrance going through turn 5 there, and it allowed Graf to have a bit of a chance on him down into turn 6.
Yeah, it's a short run. Graf still took advantage of it to try to pull off an attack. Unluckily for him, it didn't work. But he'll still have plenty more chances to attack, as will Benz Wallinger. Can he get Graf before Graf gets his teammate? As they head towards Nakaisha. Graf defending the inside. What's Wallinger gonna do? Stays comfortable on the outside.
Not quite able to get the move done as there's not much movement going on between the ARTs and the Ardens.
And I wanted to say, David Suarez, starting in last place, is now in 11th and could be near the fight for points very soon. As Bennett is just 1.4 behind the Venture.
He's right with him now. This is getting interesting. We could have a fight for the lead coming even before we get to the mandatory pit stops.
Yeah, absolutely. Now Graf drop back to Curtis. Could be a great chance for Benz Wallinger if he's close enough. Using the slipstream, but Graf gets some slipstream too as well from Curtis. I don't think Wallinger is close enough just yet.
Not quite yet, as they make their way through the first couple of turns. It looks like Burns is starting to fall back to the clutches of Fosbury right now, so we could see both ARTs making overtakes in a little bit.
Yeah, and Anderson closing on this fight. It's a 4-way fight for 4th right now. As David Suarez is catching Henry Watson big time. He'll be in the points soon at this rate.
Looking at the battle for 12th now between former championship leader Max Skillen and Italian Andrea Videri, who has somehow got to the back of him, despite being held up, of course, by the crashed out... who was it? It was...
Beranek.
It was Beranek, yes. It was Beranek. You are correct there. Being held up by the Campos there. Beranek is now Anderson closer to Valdinger than what Valdinger is to the back of Graf.
Still don't think it's enough.
Valdinger did defend going into the corner, so Anderson seems to be the quicker car at the moment out of that
Now
group.
here goes Federi trying to pass Max Skillen.
Not able to, as Bennett sets another fast lap, a 1:29.0 that time by as Anderson now right on the gearbox of Benz Valdinger. This could be another place for the Swede.
Yeah, Valdinger's been trying to put the pressure on Grab, but just hasn't been able to succeed. And now this could play very well to the hands of Thomas Anderson as they head down the main straight and in towards turn 1. Can the Swede get him? Looks like he's pulling out of the slipstream. Not just 1 second behind the Venture in the meantime, but here goes Thomas Anderson breaking towards turn 1. Can he get into 6th place? No.
Valdinger just able to hold it that time by, so not as easy as what Thomas has been able to on previous lap. Is now Videri on the inside of Skillen. This is going to be P12 for the Italian.
Looks like it is, but Skillen actually defending, holds a good line, and Skillen manages to stay in front. David Suarez is catching, he's got the back of Henry Watson, so every points place is getting contested except for third, and the guy in third is running a very lonely race, I'd say, at the moment, and that guy being, of course, Wang Nguyen.
Well, I think he would be happy even if he gets a podium this race, considering all the bad luck that he's had last season, as the gap between Adventure and Bennett is 1 second. So
and let's not forget Wang Nguyen was the man who took his first ever victory in GP2, and so far only GP2 victory on this race circuit last season. He won that race.
He's correct, of course, so it would be quite ironic if he got his first podium of the season here. I believe it would be his first podium. I'm not sure. I don't think he got a podium in Bahrain.
It will be. No, he finished 4th.
I just
on
missed
the line
out
against
then.
Anderson.
Yeah, just missed out in the end. So, meantime, we look at this battle for 12. Let's see if Videri can get Skillen this time by.
He's not going to get anything into the chicane, but I'll have to line him up for a pass into 1.
Out of the chicane, he's got some decent traction, so we'll be able to have a go at him this time by, but it's whether he can get late on the brakes into turn 1, as it's now under a second between the top 2.
Yeah, and Graf still under a second behind Curtis, but he hasn't been able to pull any attacks. But now, man, pulling an attack is Andrea Federi. Can't get past Skillen this time. Breaking towards turn 1 they go.
Got him this time. That's P12 for the Italian.
Yeah, Skillen not able to fight back there. As Anderson very close to the back of Valdinger. Where can he get past him?
He could probably try into turn 9 if he's lucky enough, but it will all depend on the traction. Of course, Fosbury is now right on the gearbox of Carl Burns in front.
Yeah.
Suarez even behind is challenging Watson now for that final points place.
Valdinger got a good run out of 7. And towards turn 8, Kamsa is having a bad run at the moment. Could be a great chance for Anderson. He's going to go for the outside. He is.
This looks like he's got the move done. He's late on the brakes. This is going to be P6. They're still side by side on the exit. And Valdinger, it's still side by side.
And here goes Burns following through. But Anderson hasn't been able to pass. Now can Burns get him on the traction? He can! And Burns is ahead.
Crosby even tried as well. That's a complete disaster for Thomas Anderson there. And, clearly the wet stuff clearly compromised him on the slick tyres.
Yes, indeed. And Kyle Burns, very opportunistic, but he was able to make the move quite well. Made amends for his mistake earlier in the race with a superb pass. Took advantage of the opportunity and absolutely went for it, Kyle Burns. Impressive move. Can he put the pressure on Valdinger, or will Anderson be able to get back at him?
Looks like Valdinger's got a bit of a gap at the moment to Burns, so we'll have to wait and see as they come out of that final corner. I don't think Fosbury's close enough to the back of Anderson at this point in time.
I think Suarez, though, might be very close to Watson. Not close enough just yet, but still. As Curtis is still battling with Graf, and we got Bell for the lead. Adventure holding off Bennett, not by much. I think Bennett's fuel lighter, though.
Well, Bennett's got 7.3 laps worth of fuel at the moment. How much does Daniel Adventure have? That will be the question as they make their way coming out of the corner.
Actually,
no, Adventure's
actually
feels light.
This is not good news for Daniel Adventure.
Especially seeing as it looks like he'll be the first to pit out of the two of them, as it's 0.7 seconds between the two leaders. So I think Bennett could have his first chance on this lap.
Yeah. Now Graf putting pressure on Curtis. Their fight resumes after a little interruption earlier. Curtis has a good run to Kamsa, and surely he's not going to be able to be attacked. Whereas Akaisha has a decent enough gap. Graf's not going to go for it.
Coming out that final corner, Bennett not close enough, but he's getting ever so closer as Anderson now getting back on the prowl of Carl Burns.
Can't do anything here though, and he's being judicious about his moves. He's not gonna try anything too hasty this time. I think he will have a great chance into turn 1.
Let's wait and see. This will also be good news for Valdinger, who's a little bit further in front to them, so he'll probably be pulling away a little bit more once those two start scrapping it out for 7th place.
Yeah, he'll be hoping to get closer once again. Graf and his teammate, because look at that, they've put 4 seconds on him. He's really lost a lot of time.
A lot of that you could say was down to the battling with him and Thomas Anderson, which as a result allowed Carl Burns to get through on Anderson.
Yeah, agreed.
Anderson getting close to Burns, but not able to get him even with that little bit of a defensive move that Burns did there.
Still, he might be able to try something towards turn 4. He's good drive into 3, which he has got. What's he gonna do? Will he do the same as in Nguyen? He's going for it towards 4. Can he get past Burns?
Yes, he can. He's up into 7th.
Once again, the American goes wide, but this time keeps on the track. Still, he loses the position. Anderson up in 7th, pulling a lot of overtakes so far. Some of them failed, but this one definitely successful.
Coming out of the turn 6-7 chicane, Graf still stuck behind Curtis, probably feeling a little bit frustrated. So who knows? This may have to come down to the mandatory pit stop for Graf to have any chance of trying to get ahead of Curtis. But there's still a while yet before they get to their stops, because he's got 12.2 laps worth of fuel. Of course, they pit earlier than before they run out, of course. So you're looking at about 10 laps worth before he makes his mandatory pit stop.
Yeah, exactly right, Joe. As Curtis, defending very well all race long. I wonder how long he'll stay in that place. Adventure, still keeping a respectable gap, 0.9 seconds to Bennett.
Of the chicane we go. I think Suarez is close to the back of Watzel, so we could see maybe an overtake down on that straight. We'll have to wait and see. Gap 0.8 seconds between Adventure and Bennett at this point in time. As there goes Suarez, is he going to go for an attack on Watzel? It looked close on the outboard, but not on the onboard, so he's going to have to tuck behind for the moment. I thought he was close enough that time by, but clearly not.
Yeah. You know, I think the lap is maybe getting worse for everyone. For the weather, I think it's changing. Of course, the tire we're playing a big role too, but there is a bigger dry line. So that's good news for them. Now Suarez too far back. I'd say to try move.
As they come out of that corner, out of turn 4, look like Fosbury dropping back a little bit now. Looks like Watzel starting to close him back in, but also dragging Davy Suarez along with him as well. So we could have a freeway scrap for 9th coming soon.
Yes, indeed, and maybe they'll be able to catch Burns too. Make a fight for P8.
Now Anderson back on Valdinger.
Second time's the charm, maybe. Here goes. Towards Zakaisha goes Thomas Anderson.
Close enough that time by, so we maybe have to wait till the pit straight again to see if he can get 6th place off the Hungarian. But only time will tell. We'll have to wait.
And Anderson is fueled pretty heavily. 10 more laps in his tank. So he's definitely gonna go for, gonna try to push in the last stint, just like he did in Baku. It's Curtis, you can see in the foreground, still under a lot of pressure. I mean in the background.
Anderson getting some decent traction. I think he might be able to attack Valdinger, but let's see.
This is surely his best chance. Using the slipstream. But Ben's Valdinger holding on some good straight line speed.
Really a late move.
Which he's making, but Valdinger covers it off.
Not able to that time by. Let's see if he can try and get him into turn 4 as we look from the rear of Ben's Valdinger. Let's see if Anderson
have a great chance. Will he go for it? He is going for it. Can he get him just like he got Burns? No, he can't. Valdinger defends very well. Goes a little wide. But Anderson loses ground now. Both Premas defending very well.
Absolutely right. Suarez still not able to have got Watzel yet, so Watzel's still holding on to that final points place at this point in time. With 3 laps away now.
Back to the back of Anderson.
And we've got the first pit stop. as Bennett, as we predicted, staying out for probably one more lap. So it looks like Bennett trying to do... Now, I usually get my undercuts and overcuts confused here. What would it be again?
The overcut this time.
Okay, that's that then.
Adventure, 26 laps of fuel.
0.2 seconds. Let's see where the pole rejoins as he makes his way down through pit lane. And
we're hoping to return in front of that giant battle involving Waldinger, which I think he will do.
Curtis is coming down the pit straight. I think he'll still rejoin in front of him, so Adventure will rejoin in third position.
Comfortably, yeah. And so Adventure has clean air in front of him, but he has to make sure it doesn't get caught. Now, Anderson.
Looks like he's going to finally get the move done on Waldinger, is he? He's going to be late on the brakes. It's side by side through turn 2.
Waldinger has the better line.
Still holds on to the place for the moment, but let's see if he can get him through turn 4. He's in the slipstream.
He's going to try once again, Thomas Anderson. Where's turn 4 he goes?
And he's
Waldinger goes deep, he's got him. Yeah, good move.
At long last, Anderson up into 6th position. It was fun while it lasted for Waldinger with the defending, but eventually Anderson got through.
And 4, Anderson's best friend today, I'd say. As Curtis is getting on the back of Dino Adventure a little bit. The man, of course, pitted earlier this lap.
Curtis made a bit of an error there through turn 6 and 7. Bennett is pitting at the end of this lap, as you saw it on the top left, and I think a couple of others are as well. Graf still wasn't close.
Of course, these guys won't be pitting for a little longer, I think, 6 more laps or so. They feel pretty heavy compared to Adventure and Bennett, as Bennett is in.
He's in the pits for his mandatory pit stop, and let's see how quick he will be. There is Adventure, and how long would it be? 7.6. So that's roughly. Well, he's quicker. It's obviously quicker than Adventure because he had around about an 8-second stop. Let's see if he.
Yeah, this is gonna be close, but Adventure will be in front. Yeah, then Adventure holds on to the lead, but then we'll have the benefit of fresher tires and the same fuel load. So if he was faster on the previous stint, he'll surely be faster on this one.
Absolutely.
So it looks like the win will be decided on track. And speaking of an on-track fight, Dennis Graf still trying to pull him over Aaron Curtis as Federi is coming into the pits.
And obviously he was in a little bit of a scrap with Max Skillen earlier before he actually ended up passing him. 9.1 seconds, slower than both Adventure and Bennett that time by.
Much slower, yeah. As Graf still battling Curtis out of turn 5. Gonna go run and attack it to 6 once again. Doubtful, but he can give it a shot.
Looks like the rain's starting to pick up a bit, as you mentioned a little bit earlier. The clouds started to get a little bit darker around the track, so maybe we could see the conditions starting to wet up again, but we'll have to wait and see.
Still, I don't think it's course to change to a different tire compound. Anyway, Curtis defends. Oh, okay. Flo says it might be a glitch.
Fair enough. As Suarez is pitting at the end of this lap, so he'll be looking to try and get the jump on Watson if he can.
Yeah.
They made their way through the chicane. Graf still stuck behind Curtis at this point in time. Is he close enough to make a move this time by? I don't think so. So more frustration for the German.
He's probably very angry right now. He knows he has better than pace than him. Yeah.
128 this time by. So was that getting
some faster lap? Bennett just came out of the pit, so I think he might be able to beat it fastest lap as Josh Fosbury is coming in. I'll try to get a jump on those guys in front of him.
Will also be joined by Davey Suarez as well, so keep an eye on that.
As we hit the halfway point of this race, Fosbury's entering 4 laps of fuel in his tank and some new tires. 7 seconds stop, the fastest stop so far. 7.5 for Suarez.
Fosbury stays in front because there was a bit of a gap between the pair of them. Well, in fact, there was a car in between them, I should point out. We're now at the halfway point of the race. We're on lap 20 of 40.
And they're clear of Federi. No issue there, but it might be actually close to Suarez. Suarez will be in front just narrowly.
Just about.
As Bennett is off! It's a loose wheel for Thomas Bennett. He's out of this race. Oh my god, no!
Oh, the look that this guy has in this series is unbelievable.
Yeah, the first mechanical retirement, and it's Thomas Bennett out of this race. What a shame. He was a contender for the race win, and I was gonna get absolutely nothing. He's out with a loose wheel, and oh my goodness me. Hongmin Nguyen is pitting meanwhile, but Thomas Bennett's race is over.
Speaking of Nguyen, he'll obviously be promoted to second once he finishes his pit stop, because he was obviously in third before the pit stops and before, of course, when Bennett retired. And there's where the loose will happen. It was just coming through turn 1, so he just missed the pit lane, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Even at the pit symbol as well, so he was able to tow it back, but clearly the problem got worse as he was going around the lap, which as a result forced him into retirement.
Yeah, agreed there. And Flo, please tell us the next track in the chat, because he still actually didn't tell us. But anyway, yeah, it's very unfortunate for Thomas Bennett, and that's both Tridents out of this race, and you gotta feel gutted for him, because he doesn't deserve to retire like this from a race. He was in good. He had a great chance to win if he was able to pass Adventure, but unfortunately not. Fireman Gwyn's in the pits now.
Adventure now will have a very big lead, it must be said. Curtis obviously staying out, but he will, of course, need to make a mandatory pit stop. We do now have the voted track in our little chat. We'll tell you that, of course, after the race.
Yep,
so,
we will.
Be prepared for that. As Nguyen rejoins. Is he going to rejoin just in front of Bentz? He is. He's going to rejoin in 5th position.
Yeah, but he'll try to pressure Thomas Anderson next. Got to overtake him. Now Dennis Groff. Once again, battling Aaron Curtis for P2 on the road for now. Gonna get him into turn 4. He goes wide, but keeps on the track. He's on the tarmac there. He'll have another chance to get Curtis. He's had so many chances so far, I have to say. As Fastray is into the pits.
He is in the pits. Watson, of course, obviously came in as well. It's important where Suarez is. Where is Suarez? He was fighting with him a little bit earlier on. Suarez actually jumped him. Suarez
he did. As did Federi.
Federi's also pitted as well. So Federi, despite that hold-up with Baronet's crash car earlier, now finds himself in the points.
Yeah. And because of Thomas Bennett's retirement from this race, means these two guys, Curtis and Graf, are battling for a podium spot. Of course, Curtis has been on the podium in Baku, and he would have been on the podium in Bahrain if Chesfield didn't take him out. But still, he wants to grab that podium, I'm sure. But then it's Graf. It will be his first point finish and his first podium if he can pass Aaron Curtis.
Coming out of that chicane now then, let's see Graf having decent traction that time by. And let's see if he can go for it this time around. He's in the slipstream with Curtis.
Close. As Nguyen is putting a move on Anderson. Those fresh tires. Anderson is yet to stop. Now here goes Graf.
Not able to that time by, and Nguyen not even able to pass Anderson at the moment, but he doesn't need to pass these guys. He's going to get second either way, because the guys who are behind him, like Graf and of course Curtis, are right in front of him. So second looks secure at the moment for Nguyen.
Still, I wonder if he might have a chance to close down the gap to Venture. Because I'm sure he wants to make it 2 wins, Catalonia wins in a row.
Will be a bit of an ask, given that Adventure's only just gone out of turn 8 there, so...
Yeah, it's a huge gap. Either way, I'm sure he's not going to give up. I mean, he has to pass these guys first, or wait until they stop. And of course, passing them would be the faster option.
Now going down the straight, will go and get the move done this time by on Anderson. Anderson defends the inside, so close to contact, but luckily there wasn't. And Nguyen taking a little bit of a wider line through into that corner.
And I'm only just looking at this now. Anderson closed a massive gap to get in the fight. Curtis and Graf. Of course, they've been holding each other up, but still, Anderson's had a very solid drive so far this race.
He has indeed, as they make their way out of the chicane. Will Nguyen this time by get a hold of Anderson out of the final corner. He should get the slipstream on the Swede.
Yeah, these two guys battled to the line in Bahrain, and once again they're gonna have a fight. This time not at the other race, but here goes Fireman Nguyen. Of course, he's already pitted, so it's still an actual fight for track position, but he's making the move anyway. Or maybe not, because Anderson's defending, but Nguyen gets a good run. Side by side, they go in towards turn 3. He has the inside, and he's in front. Yeah, great move, as Anderson has the pit call. We're boxing at this lap in an effort to try to jump Graf and Curtis. Are battling for what will be P3 once they either pit or get overtaken by Nguyen.
Graf and Curtis still staying out for at least another lap. I do believe those two will pit around about the same time, because there's only 0.2 laps difference between them, so it'll be roughly the same lap those two will be pitting, Graf and Curtis.
Yeah. I wonder if Curtis will take a chance to try to stop a lap earlier. The undercut has been the superior option so far. Adventurous pulled 4 seconds on him in previous lap, so Nguyen definitely losing a lot of time. I don't think he can fight for the win anymore, but then his Graf is being attacked by the Vietnamese driver now.
Nguyen can't get the move done into the hairpin that time by. So we'll see if he can try and get him onto the pit straight. Of course, before they pipped, Anderson obviously pitting. The guy in 7th is also pitting as well. Couldn't quite tell who that was.
I think it's not Kyle Burns, but whoever is behind him.
To the chicane as Curtis still having a bit of a gap between himself and Graf, as Nguyen has a good chance to get Graf this time by as Anderson goes into the pits.
Yeah, these 2 laps will be critical for Anderson's chances because he might be able to jam those 2, especially with Hongmin Nguyen battling them.
Going on the inside, is the Vietnamese driver going to get the move done into turn 1? And no, yes, no, yes, no. Side by side out of turn 2. And I think he's got
once again, the same exact move 2 laps in a row. He definitely likes this first sector of Hongmin Nguyen. As Anderson, 6.7, that's a very quick stop.
Was Carl Burns that came into the pits, so a bit of an error there on your part, Rob. It was Burns that came in for Arden. As,
close enough.
Rejoins behind for Dairy. That's interesting.
The undercut very, very strong, but let's not forget, Anderson will have much fresher tires than those guys. He'll be faster for sure and going on the attack. Now Nguyen, can he pass on Aaron Curtis? Graf hasn't been able to do it in 24 laps, but can Nguyen do it in 1 lap? Because Curtis will be boxing at the end of this lap.
Going by that logic then with Anderson, I'm not sure whether Curtis and Graf will be on the podium as a result. But we'll have to wait and see. Still,
Curtis has done a very good job on his high fuel strategy, and Wallinger is closing in as well.
He is indeed, as they make their way through the right-hander. Nguyen should know by now that Curtis is coming into the pit, so he doesn't need to battle him too hard. He tried to have a go at him at the flow breaker chicane, but not quite able.
I think Prema have made the right strategy called bringing Curtis in early. He's slowing those guys down quite a lot here. But yeah, it's the right call for Curtis. He doesn't want to be jumped by Fosbury or by anyone else.
Graf also coming in as well, so we've got a pit stop battle between the Premos and the MP Motorsport.
Yeah, Wallinger staying out a little longer. It's definitely going to try to go on a maximum attack in the last stint.
As Fosbury makes his way through the chicane, he has already pitted, so we could see him possibly on the podium. We'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, but don't forget, he pitted very early, so he'll be under much pressure because these guys are on fresh tires and they'll be much faster. 6.8 seconds stop for Curtis.
He stays in front of Graf. Graf just finished his stop. All these guys going down, including Anderson, who's jumped these guys. So let's see where they come up. Otzel's also jumped them as well. And Will Burns, he's on the outside of Graf. He might take the final points place away, and he does.
Wow. So maybe it has been a bad strategy call, but of course this race isn't over. Still got 16 laps left. And these guys are going to be fast. There's Graf and Aaron Curtis. And maybe they can take back those podium places. Now Graf can't overtake Burns.
Not able to that time by Tomaselli now in the pits for Carlin. As now Anderson is right on the back of Videri now for P6.
And Suarez is in P5. Incredible. Of course,
given that he started in last position.
Yeah, and Wallinger is yet to pit. So once Wallinger pits, Suarez will be in P4. Now here goes Anderson.
Tried to have a go, but Videri very defensive going into turn 9 there as Waldinger is pitting at the end of this lap. He's in now.
Yeah. 28-second lead for Daniel Adventure is much faster than Hongmin Nguyen at the moment. Looks like the win is in the bag. 2 wins in a row is going to be. With 15 laps to go. Ben Wallinger is pitting now. I suspect he'll come out in around 11th place or so, but he'll have the freshest tires of anyone. So he and his teammate, and also Dennis Graf, they'll be pushing like hell to try to get a good position. That was the big thing. Yeah. Let's not forget, in the laps when Nguyen was battling with Curtis and Graf, Adventure was pulling 3 seconds a lap on them. So it can make quite a big difference. As Wallinger rejoins, he's going to be in front of, I think that's Skillen. Now Anderson, battling Federi for P5, can't get past him. Into towards turn 4 he goes. And he has got him! Yeah, Federi went wide. The fresher tire is already making a difference. Thomas Anderson might be having a great chance for a podium. Let's not forget he pitted just 1 lap before Curtis. And look how much time he gained on Curtis because of that.
the chicane we go, and now his next target, of course, will be the Brazilian of Davy Suarez for P4. So the podium could still be on for Thomas Anderson at this point.
Absolutely. Of course, he's going to have to worry about Kurst and Wallinger too. Now we're looking at Watzel. He has his teammate Carl Burns behind him. And now Huang Min Nguyen looks like he'll be setting a personal best lap. I don't think he has any hope of catching a venture, but he's been a race of his own the entire race, and now does have fastest personal best. 129.1.
First place and second place appear to be on their own at the moment. Everything else is going on third downwards.
Yeah, agreed. As we look at David Kupok, I believe this is. He's not having a good race, unfortunately. And now is his teammate.
Comes Anderson now on the back of Suarez. This is going to be P4 for the Swede. He's on the inside. It could be position gain for Thomas Anderson. Let's have a look into the first corner. He has obviously the fresher tyres, and he's still going to stay side by side. Is he going to pull in the Nguyen through these corners? And he's trying to stick with him, but no.
Try it.
I was able to hang on, and now Verderi's got back onto him.
Yeah, Ken Verderi pulling an attack on Anderson at the corner where he got passed on the previous lap. He's not trying.
Not able to that time by. Suarez able to stay in front of Anderson at this point in time, so the Dam's doing a good job fending off from the ART.
Yeah, and let's not forget Anderson. He lost out 5th place to David Suarez on the line in Baku, so I'm sure he has a little bit of a beef he wants to settle, some revenge he wants to get from that race. And Curtis has got the back of Federi as well. He's going to be right behind Anderson if he can make that pass. Suarez has a good line to come, so a bad exit might give Anderson a big chance. He's going to send to Lakashak. Suarez defends the inside. What's Anderson going to do? Staying behind.
Contact between Curtis and Verderi.
Yeah, there was a little bit of contact. I don't think there's any damage involved.
No, they're very lucky not to get any damage. And Verderi, whoa, he even hit the side of Anderson.
Yeah, he did. And oh my goodness, so close to big damage, so close to a big accident. But thankfully for him, and for all the parties in this, no damage at all. The fight can keep going. It's a big fight, as Dennis Goff is in there as well, behind Carl Burns. And let's not forget Ben Wallinger joining the party as well. The fight for the podium place is absolutely heating up.
Absolutely right. Fosbury is hoping that Suarez holds Anderson up so much, so then he ends up getting the podium at the moment, because of course Fosbury doesn't need to stop. In fact, nobody else needs to stop. So at the moment, Fosbury on the podium, but you'll have to wait and see if Suarez can hold on to all of these guys. At the moment, he's got enough of Anderson.
Yeah, Fosbury finished second in Bahrain, so it'll be his second podium of the season. So I'm sure this will be good for him. Of course, eventually will be getting his second podium too if he wins, 2 wins in a row. But Fosbury will make it 2 podiums as well, if it stays like this.
Getting down the straight, Skillen going very defensive at the moment on Fashiray.
Yeah.
And able to hold on at this point in time. Will Fashiray maybe try and get moved on Skillen down into turn number 4?
He might have a chance.
Going to the inside. This is going to be
goes
for him. No, it isn't.
Not quite. They've still got plenty of laps to try and make a move.
Time we're back to this battle for 4th between Suarez and Anderson.
Suarez has done incredible so far. He's been attacking, but now he's going to have to worry a lot about defense, because he's got this guy all over the back of him. Here goes Anderson going to the outside. He's going to switch. No, he's going to back out.
Weird there. We haven't seen that from anybody today. A bit strange why Anderson felt the need to back out that time by, rather than switching it back to the inside like we saw from the Ferraris last season in the top class.
Yeah, I don't think he wanted to risk too much. He knew what Curtis tried to do for there in the previous lap.
As they make their way through these final sets of cars, Anderson, he'll probably have a chance now to try and get Suarez into the first corner, but let's see.
Yeah. Suarez with a decent exit. Anderson is in the slipstream, and he'll be gaining on the Brazilian. Now, I don't think he's close enough just yet, but he can pull a dive bomb. Let's see, is he going to go for it? Suarez defends the inside and goes back to the outside. Anderson doesn't have a chance there. Now Dennis Groff trying to get past Carl Burns for 9th place. He's got him. Good move there.
Alding is now caught up to this group, so he's now with him as Fashery's on the inside of Skillen in their back.
Now Anderson into 4th. Can he get Suarez? No. Suarez defends the inside. Suarez goes a little wide. But he covers it. He still holds onto the place, and Anderson doesn't have an answer there. Oh, Burns is off again. Burns is off again at turn 4. He spun it. He spun it. Can rejoin safely. He's waiting out. He's waiting there, but he's gone off once again at turn 4. And what a shame. He drops out of the points. Hands it to Ben Wallinger.
No, I think Valdinger was on the inside.
He went up on his own.
I think
yeah, but
Valdinger was on the inside, but we'll have to wait and see, unless it's a similar error than what we saw earlier on. Let's have a look.
Valdinger went for the inside into 4.
With the move, of course, Graf made on him just a couple of corners ago. He got up into 9th position. Now let's see whether there was contact between Valdinger and Burns as they make their way through turn 3. So Valdinger obviously with better traction than Burns because he's only just been overtaken by Graf.
A much better run.
Let's see. Went for it. And no, it was just an error on Burns' part.
Yeah, once again, Carl Burns makes a costly mistake at turn 4. And I think his chances of points have gone out the window, unfortunately, for the American.
Meantime, we were obviously looking at Skillen for sure a little earlier on. Looks like Skillen just able to fend off from Fashery at this point in time.
Yeah, and the Bahrain race winner is 1 place away from some points. And Suarez has pulled quite a gap to Anderson. Suarez is trying to get Feder once again.
Not quite able to. It was worth an attempt, but he wasn't able to, as now Watson was now starting to get onto the back of him as a result.
Fashery is trying to get back at Skillen. Can he get past him? Now he's staying behind.
Out of the corner we go now then. I'd like to get back to that big group, which we are now. Let's see if anybody's going to be making some overtakes. Suarez went enough of a gap ahead of Anderson, but Watson was all over the back of Curtis, and it seems that Curtis...
Yeah, Fosbury's increased his advantage to 3 seconds in front of Anderson. So this is great news for one of the Grand Prix cars. As Ben Valdinger, meanwhile, is trying to close onto the back of the car in front of him. Of course, this group lost a member because Carl Burns is now down to 13th place.
As now Fashery is on the back of Skillen again. Is he going to go for the move into the first corner? He's going to have a go on the Scotsman. Down the inside goes Fashery. Is this going to be P11 for him in the Carlin? And he's still...
No, Skillen's defending. Has the inside into 2 and a better run. And yeah, Skillen stays in front.
Skillen doing a good job fending him off at this point in time as they wait the way.
It's not over yet. Fashery will have a go into turn 4. Skillen's defending the inside. Skillen goes very wide. Goes off the track into the gravel. And he's lost the position. Rejoins safely though. So no issues there. He lost the place, however. Now Anderson, closer than ever to the back of David Suarez. Surely he'll have a chance in towards Akaisha. Gets a great run out of Kamsa. So as he's covering the inside, Anderson's going to send it though. Backside at the last moment.
Not able to get the move done that time. But his Graf on the inside of what? So this is going to be P8.
Out of Akaisha, he's got him.
Oh, hang on. Watson still there. Watson just able to hang on. He's
Valdinger. Can he pull a Carl Burns?
Yes, he can. Yes, he can.
Great stuff there from Benz Valdinger. He's now up in the 9th place. He's past Dennis Graf. Valdinger has the freshest tires in this group. So he's got past 1 hurdle in this race.
So look, so Graf was going for the dive on the inside of Watson. He had every right to. He remained side by side.
The dive went great, however, he just didn't have the greatest line to the next corner, and that cost him not just 1 place, but 2 places, because Benz Valdinger took advantage brilliantly, just like Carl Burns did earlier in this race.
Yeah, and I bet Dennis Graf is probably kicking himself in the cockpit right now, how he's let that happen.
Yeah. I wouldn't blame him, though. In these conditions, you have to try everything you can.
Meantime, now Anderson all over the back of Suarez. He's closer than he has been before.
Surely, this is the best shot. David Suarez has been hard to pass. But Anderson has been on fire with the attack this race. And surely he can get him now in towards turn 1.
On the inside, is this going to be the move done? Let's have a look. No, Suarez again still able to hang on.
Brilliant defense from the dance from the Brazilian. And now Federi still battling with Anderson, and with Curtis behind chasing after him.
To the right-hander we go. And Curtis still stuck behind Federi at this point in time. He's probably feeling a little bit frustrated at this point as well. We just saw Suarez went defensive there into turn 5.
Yeah, meanwhile, Valdinger, if he can get past Watson quickly, he might be able to join on the back of this train very soon. And now David Kupak is making a move on Daniel Adventure, actually, unlapping himself, trying to unlap himself at the very least.
Now look at this.
Anderson had a bad run into Kamsa, gives a great chance for Federi, but Curtis is there as well. Curtis is attacking Federi, he's going to send it now, he's backing out.
To the left-hander we go. This is allowing Suarez to get away quite a bit as a result.
Yeah, I wonder if Suarez has a chance to get Fosbury, because Fosbury has increased the gap, and he might be safe for a podium. Unless, of course, Suarez gets overtaken anytime soon.
Into the chicane we go. Let's see if Anderson can try and get Suarez this time by, and whether Curtis can get Federi this time by.
Meanwhile, Watson and Waldinger are getting much closer to these guys, and also Graf.
On the straight we go. Anderson right in the slipstream with Suarez. Is he going to get the move done this time? By as Curtis goes on the inside of Videri in the background. Side by side goes Anderson and Suarez. Is Anderson going to get the move done? As Curtis is not by on Videri.
Yeah, that's a place where Curtis. He's made a great move there. Anderson, towards turn 4. His favorite overtaking spot, say today. Can he get Suarez this time? On the brakes.
Yes, he can.
It's been a painful battle, but he's come out ahead at the end of it. And David Suarez drops down to P5. He's going to have to worry about Aaron Curtis very, very soon, because the Irishman is all over the back of him.
The question is, can Anderson catch up to his teammate for that final podium place?
I'm sure he can. Fosbury's on all tires relative to... Oh, Suarez went wide.
Hey, his wheel went into the gravel there. We just saw the gravel kick up. He drifted his way into that corner.
Yeah, agreed. That curb, definitely dangerous. But David Suarez hasn't lost the place just yet, and clearly a scary moment there. Curtis will be lucky he didn't hit him or anything, but still, David Suarez holds on to a place for now.
Suarez had a very scary moment. Very scary moment for the Brazilian, but Curtis not able to get close enough for this back straight heading towards turn 9.
Yeah. Now Waldinger trying to pull him up on Watson. He's staying back for now.
Not thinking about it at the moment. Now Curtis all over the back of Davy Suarez. Maybe he could try and make a run down into the first corner if he can.
I'm sure he's thinking about it. Curtis, he was held up behind... no, he was holding up Graf for a long time. And gave Graf quite a headache trying to pass him. And now he's going to be the one having headaches. From David Suarez, he's defending brilliantly against Anderson. If he keeps that defensive form up, he might be able to hold on to P5 after all. But Curtis is determined to get past him.
Not close enough that time by. Meantime, his teammate is all over the back of Watson. Is this going to be P8 for the Hungarian? As Watson
I think so. Watson is covering the inside, but Waldinger is surely going to send it into turn 1. Watson goes very wide, and Waldinger got the place. Graf might have a chance too.
See if he can try and grab 9th now from Watson. There's now Curtis on the back of Suarez. Suarez able to defend going into turn 4 there. Graf on the inside of Watson.
Has to back out there. Goes a little wide, but doesn't go off the track. Still, Henry Watson lost the place to Waldinger. And Mens Waldinger will be piling the pressure on Graf very soon, I believe.
Through the left-hander we go now then, as Graf maybe could try and make a move into turn number 9 if he's lucky enough. Like
it's definitely a bit possible. It's now Aaron Curtis behind David Suarez. Can't get past him into La Caixa.
We can't. Maybe has to wait for the pit straight again. As Graf's going to the inside of Watson. This is going to be P9 for the German. And no.
Meanwhile, I'd just like to point out, look at the gap between P1 and P3. 53 seconds. Adventure, and of course Bennett is out. An absolutely incredible pace today. And oh my goodness, this is a huge win.
Massive, massive pace from Daniel Adventure, who at the moment is looking good to increase his lead at the top even further.
Yeah, Juan Nguyen has been faster than Adventure in this stint. I know that the lead went from 28 seconds to 23. There's nowhere near enough time to get him. But speaking of getting him, Curtis might be trying to get David Suarez now. Side by side and gonna break towards turn 1.
He's got him.
Yeah. And can Curtis hunt down the Art Grand Prix cars in the remaining laps and get himself back on the podium?
I'm still not able to get Watson there that time by, so he's probably a little bit more frustrated now. Burns on the inside of Skillen, trying to make up for lost time if he can after a second trip into the gravel down at turn 4. Down the inside goes Burns. Is this going to be P12? They're still side by side through.
Quite. Skillen has the inside and holds on to it, but Burns will have a run into turn 4. The cursed corner for him is now. We got a battle for P3 between the Art Grand Prix cars, Fosbury and Anderson. Thomas Anderson. He started outside the point, so I'm sure he wants to get this podium more than anyone. You have a great chance at his teammate. But I have to pass him quickly because Aaron Curtis is coming.
Oh, contact!
They've touched! They've touched, but no spins there. Going side by side still. Anders is going to have to back out here, and this is helping Aaron Curtis big time. Now Graf trying to make a move. Very close to contact.
Very, very close. I was about to say rule 1, never hit your teammate with the ART guys, but luckily they didn't crash each other out that time by.
Yeah, still Aaron Curtis will be thankful for that because look how much closer he's gotten to the pair of them. Surely there's going to have to be some team orders in place. As now Kyle Burns trying an outgoing Max Skillen Lakaisha hasn't got him.
Meantime, down the pit straight we go. Is Anderson going to get a move done on Fosbury? He's right on the slipstream on the inside.
And Valdiger shaping up above Andrea Federi. Anderson has to back out of this. But that Valdiger, no backing out for him. He's going to get Federi into turn 1.
And that's
yes,
the
he has.
Graf has finally got by on Watzel.
Yeah, there's Graf up into 9th place. And now Anderson towards turn 4, his favorite overtaking spot.
Again,
failed to get the move done.
Very clear that Fosbury wants this podium as much as what Thomas Anderson does as well.
Yeah, but if they keep scrabbling over it, neither of them might end up on the podium because Aaron Curtis is chasing down both of them hard as we've got 5 laps to go in this race.
Absolutely right. Anderson's still trying everything he can to get by on Fosbury as they make their way through the right-hander now then.
Yeah, and Curtis is so much closer. And I imagine Valdinger will be putting Suarez under a bit of pressure as well. Now, Thomas Anderson staying behind, doesn't want to risk any contact. This is great news for Aaron Curtis, closing down these guys so fast.
Time Burns has actually got past Skillen, so he's now got himself up into 12th position.
Yeah.
Into the chicane we go. Will Anderson try and make a move on Fosbury into turn 1 as Curtis is getting closer and closer to this fight for 3rd position. Out of the final turn, let's see if Anderson can get the move done this time by getting down the pit straight.
If he doesn't get him now, he's going to have to worry for the rest of this lap because Curtis will be up to the back of them. And here goes Thomas Anderson for a podium place. Can he get past his teammate now and towards turn 1? Looks like he can, and yes, he does.
With the P3, he goes. Valdinger still stuck behind Suarez at this point in time. Now can Curtis try and get Fosbury?
Valdinger getting a much better run out of turn 2 into 3. We've got Trey Logan and Suarez for a move into 4. Looks like he's going for it. And Suarez goes wide. Valdiger's got him. Nice and easy.
P6 for the Hungarian there. As Graf is now starting to close in on Federi in front.
Yeah. And if Federi will be under a lot of pressure. Now Curtis all over the back of Judd Fosbury. He has to get him quick. Otherwise, Anderson will just pull away and secure the podium spot. But Curtis is determined to get past. Lakaisha is going on the outside, backing out of it. It's not good news for him. He's going to have to wait to turn 1. But they're moving a lot, but keeping Graf at bay.
At this point in time, as Curtis really putting Fosbury under a lot of pressure at this point in time.
Anderson's gained 14 positions. And Suarez 15. Of course, Suarez had gained 18 places when he was up in P4, but he lost a few as well. Now, Aaron Curtis wants to get back into P4. Can he get past Judd Fosbury?
He's on the inside. Let's see if he can pull the move off. And the Irishman on the inside. Is this going to be P4 for him? No, it isn't.
Fosbury doing some great defensive work, helping his teammate and Graf and Federi.
That was so close to contact there.
Yeah, indeed. Very, very tough action in here between those two.
I bet Graf, given that he hasn't scored any points this season, was seeing whatever you can think of, really.
Yeah, agreed. Still gonna have another chance towards turn 4. He's definitely gonna go for it, but Federi covers him off.
At this point in time, as Valdinger is now right on this group.
Yeah, Fosbury definitely doing his defensive job quite well. Pulling up Curtis and feeding him into the trap, in towards his teammate Ben Valdinger, backing him up.
Through the right-hander we go. Let's see who's going to be overtaking who now. Then make their way
Curtis
into turn 9.
Going defensive. Valdinger might have a shot. Can he get past both of them, or just Curtis? He's got just Curtis. But he
gets himself up into P5. So a disaster there for Aaron Curtis, it must be said.
Yeah. But he's still got 3 laps to go to get past Fosbury once Valdinger gets him. Because Valdinger is incredibly fast. I'm sure he's going to get Fosbury very soon.
Through the long right-hander we go, as Graf is still stuck behind Federi with the remaining laps we have left. Let's see if Valdinger can get Fosbury this time by.
Look at the gap Anderson's pulled. clearly is safe on the podium place now. Fosbury has done great defensive work to keep these two Premas behind. Vince Wallinger doesn't want to stay behind much longer. He wants to pass them in the remaining laps.
Holding it right on the gearbox. He's on the inside of Fosbury. Is this going to be P4 for the Hungarian? I think it might be, but let's wait and see. Late on the brakes, and Fosbury's still sticking with him. And surprisingly enough, Fosbury's still there as Graf has got by him for Dairy.
And Curtis is going to have a chance now to get back at his teammate. Meanwhile, Dennis Graf, nice and clean move. No risk of contact this time, and he's up into 8th place. 2 extra points on his tally.
This point in time, yes. Can he gain a little bit more? Might be a bit of an ask to try and catch up to Suarez, but given that Suarez is on very old tyres, it is possible.
Now, Wallinger towards turn 4.
Get the move going forward. Now, look, Suarez has now got himself back into this battle for 4th.
Yeah, it's a big fight here. And, oh man. I wouldn't want to call Fosbury, like, I don't want to call him a number 2, but he's doing a lot to help Thomas Anderson right now. Fosbury, of course, got podium in his own right, as there's Bennett's car still there. 2 laps to go for race leader, meanwhile.
I was just going to say, it's a bit far away from the track, so I don't think it's going to be too much of a concern there.
Yeah.
As here goes Waldinger, trying to have a go at Fosbury, not able to do the move there. They made their way through these sections of corners now.
And Graf is joining this fight as well. He'll be catching Suarez. He's already caught him. The Fosbury gain very, very big so far, it seems. He's going very slow into the chicane, trying to get the best exit possible. And his teammate has pulled an immense gap on him in just a few laps, 8.5 seconds. Venture was doing comfortably. Now here goes Vince Wallinger. Surely this is his best chance to get Fosbury. 2 laps to go for the Hungarian. He's finished P3 in Baku. Looks like he'll be P4 at best here. But can he get him into turn 1? Fosbury defending very well and keeping him back, fitting him right up the path of Curtis. Has a bad run into 3 of Jad Fosbury. Wallinger will have a great chance towards turn 4, and Graf is pulling a move on Suarez as well.
Wallinger up to 4th. He's got the move done.
Fosbury went very wide. Final lap for Daniel Adventure. Now Curtis is once again on the back of Jad Fosbury.
As they made their way through this left-hander, so this battle's going to the final lap, it must be said. As
absolutely. Fosbury's still defending like crazy. He's already fought Curtis before, but now it's not just Curtis, it's a whole lot of cars. Even Henry Watson might be able to get in this fight with Pederi. Now Curtis trying to get around the outside of Lakash. That's not going to work. He's going to switch.
There's all contact there between Graf and Suarez.
Yeah, there was a little contact.
As Watsel's now starting to get onto the back of the dairy, but we'll need to have a look at Daniel Adventure very soon because he's
I think he's very close behind him, yeah. And Daniel Adventure, we haven't seen him much this race, but he's been extremely dominant. Got a little luck with Ben retiring because Ben was his best challenger. But you need luck to win these races, and Adventure, after so many times of not winning a race, he'll be very happy to win 2 in a row. But now Aaron Curtis, starting his last lap, having a great chance to get past Jad Fosbury for P5. Can he get him?
As we'll hopefully be cutting back to Adventure very, very soon, as Graf is also about to pass Suarez, and Curtis gets up into 5th.
He's done it!
Gets up to 7th. Now let's get
we have to jump to the winner, Daniel Adventure.
He is.
At the last corner he's gonna go, and Daniel Adventure is gonna make it 2 wins in a row and get a commanding lead in the championship. He's done it again. Daniel Adventure wins the GP2 Spanish Grand Prix. Great win for him and for the Russian time team. Fantastic job. He was so dominant this race. Besides Bennett and Gwynn, absolutely no one was near him. I think he put a minute on P4, or over a minute. Incredible drive from Adventure. Absolutely incredible.
So Anderson is going to get the podium because he's 10 seconds clear from Waldinger, so it looks like the podium will be his. But we've got a battle for 6th to still sort out as Graf is now on the back of Fosbury.
Yeah, and towards Lakaisha. He's going on the outside now, but maybe he'll switch later. Can he get him? His last chance. He decides to back out. That's very, very strange. But Dennis Graf looks like he'll be settling for P7 unless he can get something done in the last sector. Juan Nguyen. Quiet race for him, but he finishes 2nd. That's on our podium. And check where he got his first win. Thomas Anderson. With an absolutely incredible drive. He gained so many positions. And I think he's going to be my driver of the day. He finishes 3rd place, takes his first podium of the season. And what a drive for Thomas Anderson. This time doesn't have to fight anyone to the line. Vince Wallinger, another solid race for him. Another top 4 finish. He finishes 4th. And Curtis, once again, in top 5, finishes 5th.
Run to the line. We've got to run to the line. And Fosby just holds on.
Yeah, keeps Graf behind. Tries finishes 8th. Points once again for him. Watzel 10th. Fatchery 11th. Kyle Burns is going to finish 12th. So unlucky for him. He made 2 critical mistakes. And that dropped him out of the points. He's going to finish P12. But at least he's going to beat Skillen to this position. Very, very bad race for him, but I'm sure he'll recover from this in the next few races.
It is for sure. I think there's still a few more to finishes there. Or was he the last one to cross the line? I think Skillen still needs to finish. Tomaselli and Q-Puck. No, I think that is everyone. So
yeah,
here is your winner, Daniel Adventure.
Daniel Adventure. 3 races in 2018. 2 wins for Daniel Adventure. So in 2017, we may have waited a very long time for someone to win 2 races. Now we're not going to have to wait very long at all because Daniel Adventure, he won the Azerbaijani Grand Prix. And now he's won the Spanish Grand Prix as well. What an incredible victory for the Polish driver in the Russian time. He started on pole. He led every single lap of the race except the pit stop phases. And he won by 20 seconds from Harmin Nguyen. Thomas Anderson completed the podium 50 seconds down the leader. As Wallinger was in 4th in front of Aaron Curtis. The 2 Primas once again next to each other. Jad Fosby, after some great defensive driving, gets home in P6. The man who finished 2nd in Bahrain. Nes Graf gets his first ever points in GP2. Kudos to him. A great drive for him. It's a good attacking. Davi Suarez started in last place. Went all the way up to 4th. But in the last stint, he dropped down to 8th. Still a great drive for him. Andrea Federi P9. Henry Watson is the last points finisher. You can do the rest, Joe.
Isaac Vacheray just missing out on the points in 11th. Carl Burns, what could have been, he finishes in 12th. Max Skillen, 13th, still yet again another non-point scoring finish for the former championship leader. Alessandro Tomaselli in 14th. David Kupop 15th, with the retirements of the race, of course, being Thomas Bennett, Christoph Baronet, Jake Galloway, Chuck McCarthy, Balint Zolga, Nicola Zorbach, and Chris Chatfield. What a shame for Thomas Bennett after battling for the lead for the majority of the race.
Yeah, agreed. You gotta feel good for him, but I'm sure he'll bounce back. And the fastest lap goes to Daniel Adventure, so he picks up the full points tally, 31 points. Pole, fastest lap, and race victory. Almost a grand slam for Daniel Adventure. He's done incredible. Fastest lap of this race, and that's another 2 points to his tally. The man who took victory and the fastest lap in Azerbaijan is gonna do it yet again. So yeah. Of course, now it's before we get to the national anthem, we're gonna have to tell you where the next race is going to be, and it's a track you're quite familiar with, and I'm sure you've seen quite a lot of action over there in the last week. I'm sure by now you know exactly what I mean. And yes, your guess is correct, because we'll be racing at Istanbul Park in the Republic of Turkey for the next GP2 race. We're going back to near East country, and that's where you guys have voted to go. We'll be going to the Intercity Istanbul Park for round 4 of the GP2 Championship. I can't wait for it. It's a great track for racing. Maybe not for me in DTM, but it's still going to be a great ride. And now,
it's a fantastic track, of course. We will be racing there, of course, in 3 weeks' time. No GP2 next week, and of course, no GP2 the following week because of the Indy 500. It'll be back in 3 weeks' time during the Canadian Grand Prix.
Yep, that's right. And now it's time, once again, for race winner Daniel Adventure. It's time for the Polish national anthem. All right, thank you guys. That was the national anthem, and what a dominant race for Daniel Adventure. But before we end, we have to decide our driver of the day. I'd say Adventure had a brilliant performance, absolutely dominant, but he's not going to be my driver of the day. My driver of the day vote goes to Thomas Anderson after that incredible drive. He gained so many positions, made so many brilliant moves, and he got himself a well-deserved podium. What do you think, guys?
I would have to agree with you as well. I think Thomas Anderson deserves the driver of the day, a fully deserved podium, and yeah, not much I can say.
Yeah, brilliant drive. What do you think, Flo? You think the same as us?
I think the same as you guys, because Adventure was very lucky with Bennett having a problem, and well, Anderson, he really moved up the places in the race, so driver of the day goes to him.
Yeah, absolutely. He'll be very happy with this result. Of course, Nguyen, his first podium of the season, will be happy too. And Daniel Adventure, second win in a row. And can this be a start of a championship run? We'll find out by the end of the season, I'm sure. But Daniel Adventure is looking very good so far after the first 3 races. But until next time, it's going to be a while before we see you again, like Joe said, in 3 weeks' time.
And oddly enough, it will be the final GP2 race of 2020.
Yeah, for Turkish Grand Prix. But until then, I've been Robert Ionescu.
I've been Joseph Willows, and for GP2, we will see you in 3 weeks' time in Turkey, the final GP2 race of 2020.
Yeah, thank you very much, guys, and we'll see you again for the next one. Take care of yourselves. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you for tuning in. Thanks, Joe, for commentating. Appreciate it a lot. Thank you, Flo, for doing this again for us as usual. This has been an amazing race. I'm sure you guys think the same. But yeah, until then, take care of yourselves and each other, and we're gonna see you again next time. Take care, guys, and bye-bye. Ciao, ciao, and have a good time.
See you later.